that Dennis Hernandez-Galeano is here, and we had discussed flipping it up, but why don't we proceed? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Hernandez-Galeano. You're about to be recognized this evening, and so I would call upon Bev Bradnam to, as you once were.
As I still am.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Your Worship. Tonight we're here to celebrate our friend, Dennis Hernandez-Galeano, acknowledge your significant contributions, and present you with the AMCTO's AODA 10th Anniversary Champion Award. I'm going to read from here so I don't cry. I'm going to turn my back. 101 of these awards are being presented this week throughout the province, and these are some of the reasons why Dennis was nominated by the Accessibility Advisory Committee and why he was chosen as the community champion for accessibility. So Dennis suffered a spinal cord injury in his late teens, but he's never let his physical disability get in the way of accomplishing his goals. Dennis has served as a member of the Town of Fort Erie Accessibility Advisory Committee since it was established in 2002, and he has served as chair since 2011, and prior to that was vice chair for 4 years. Dennis continually sets the bar high, not only for the AAC, for council, for our staff, but also reaches beyond the committee's mandate to outside organizations and businesses alike. In the community, Dennis is also very active with the Greater Fort Erie Youth Soccer Club, serving as a board member and a soccer coach for many, many years. Dennis has been instrumental in getting walkways constructed and repaired in public parks, particularly where there are soccer fields. He's also the chair of the Fort Erie Active Transportation Committee that looks at improving the walkability of our community. He acts as a liaison between that committee and our committee, and he's led initiatives such as the creation of bike racks throughout the various downtown cores, as well as the joint audit of bus stops and shelters with both committees, building on their similar needs to have active and accessible transit services throughout the community. Dennis has also been a community leader when it comes to the Rick Hansen relays, and in the recent 25th anniversary celebration, he was actually a community medal bearer for Fort Erie. He's been instrumental in a number of accessibility improvements within the community, most recently a catalyst for improvements at Oaks Park, Optimus Park, Service Ontario, Stevensville Canada Post Office, improvements to traffic signals at intersections, and the inclusion of audible crossing signals, to name a few. Most recently, Dennis worked with the Niagara Parks Commission to make sure that we created an accessible pathway to the monument so that veterans can fully participate in Remembrance Day ceremonies. As chair of the AAC, he's worked with community partners to ensure accessibility improvements are identified and implemented. During National Access Awareness Week, he's presented the AAC's accomplishments to council and the public. He's participated in acknowledging external stakeholders that implemented removal of barriers based on the AAC's request and his visit with property owners. He also presented at the recent Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Award for Accessibility. His application for our committee states, having the chance to be a part of this committee gives me the opportunity to make Fort Erie a better place for our community and visitors alike. My way of trying to make a difference and giving back to this great town that we live in. Even though he suffered physically because of his injuries, he's focused on giving back to the community and making it more accessible. A number of events have been hosted by the AAC under Dennis's leadership, including a regional forum that included focus groups discussing such things as healthcare, transportation, best practices. He's also been involved with access awareness events, which brought in service providers throughout the community so that residents could learn what was available to improve access and remove barriers. As a soccer coach and member of the Fort Erie Soccer Club, Dennis has also been a leader in breaking down those barriers. In 2009, Dennis and myself did some accessible customer service training, and that resulted in new registration forms so that parents with disabilities or parents that had children with disabilities could actually work with the club for improvements to registration and right out onto the field. So he's been instrumental in that. Personally, Dennis visits various establishments to meet with owners and operators to show the difficulties that those in wheelchairs may encounter, and then provides valuable suggestions, and once in place we'll try the improvements out and give feedback. He's also opened his accessible home and van to individuals who require modifications either in their home or vehicle, And he discusses with them from his own personal experiences what works well, where it can be obtained, and what he would do differently. He's also been instrumental in receiving council support, both financially and personally. The AAC, under Dennis's leadership, now receives an annual budget, and most recently was approved for funding a regional AAC event in 2016, which will include AAC members from throughout the region and local businesses. Dennis was instrumental in the purchase and rollout of the accessible beach mats, and he's worked diligently to ensure that walkways and pathways within our parks are barrier-free, and has also provided comment on accessible playground features to ensure that persons, especially children with disabilities, have equal access to park amenities. His ongoing involvement in many community events is very inspirational. He's very humble, and he downplays his assistance, but without his help, many things our committee has done would not have been accomplished. Dennis has an impact on everyone that he meets. His positive attitude and proactive approach to life has such an influence on how we all view disabilities and challenges. He never gives up. He strives to find solutions to remove barriers for everyone. Dennis, you're an inspiration, and your can-do attitude is contagious. I'm so privileged to call you a colleague, but more than that,